Bioshock Infinite is set in Columbia, an insanely nationalistic city that floats in the sky. In it, you will find a man, Father Zachary Comstock, who rules over the country not as its king, but as its prophet. Religion is just one of the few themes the game illustrates, along with racism, free will, and choice. The first time you pop up into the clouds is a moment I doubt I will ever forget in gaming. It, unlike its previous installments, brings you into a colorful and charismatic atmosphere, bringing in feelings of joy and relief. You play as Booker DeWitt, a man whose sole purpose is to bring them the girl and wipe away the debt. These 9 words are a vital pillar for the narrative. This girl's name is Elizabeth, who has been locked up in a tower, watched over by a giant mechanical bird her entire life. She possesses a very fascinating power, the ability to bend space, adding in new items around her, and creating new dimensions. Booker's main goal is to get her to New York, from which he came, but the mysterious brand of the false shepherd on his hand, signaling his opposition to Columbia, causes difficulty with accomplishing this goal. The combat in the game is nothing else but solid. Every gun packs a loud, powerful punching sound as to let you know you are causing havoc with every bullet you shoot. The guns themselves all feel very unique, besides for the copycat guns used for different factions, which in turn have different names. Rail riding, the ability to grapple onto a rail and ride it as if it were a roller coaster, is a fantastic feature. It is only made better by the ability to shoot while on the rail. I don't know many games I've played where you can ride a rail at incredible speeds shooting people in the face, but I can assure you this is the best. Along with rail riding, Infinite also introduces the ability to bring in new items from different dimensions. Elizabeth can call upon turrets, ammo, and robotic patriots to help you in combat. This makes combat feel much more intuitive and lets you better plan out your approach. Vigors, what were called plasmids in previous installments, are biological powers. They range from throwing fire, spitting bullets back at their shooters, and mauling people with crows. They are great fun, but some exceed others. One that allows you to shoot fire starts falling off later in the game, and another that lets you grapple targets is pretty useless when compared to the others. To use Vigors, you need salts. These, along with their help, do not automatically regenerate. Instead, food and salts are littered about the map to help you recover what you may have lost. If you don't happen to have anything near you, you can always buy or find certain kits that restore either one. Bioshock Infinite introduces a regenerating shield, making the game slightly easier than its predecessor. The shield, along with your health and salts, make up the 3 upgradable stats in the game. To upgrade these, you need to find infusion potions, little color-changing potion bottles hidden neatly off the beaten path. Ammo, weapon, and vigor upgrades are all available to you. Most of these costs seem reasonable, besides for upgrading your vigors. This can prove frustrating at first, but once you figure out that money is literally everywhere if you look hard enough, it feels slightly more fair. The level design in Infinite is exceptional. Each area has multiple approaches to dealing with the challenge of enemies. You could ride a rail around the area shooting the soldiers, take cover from afar, picking them off one by one, summon a flying mosquito to distract, or throw them all in the air with a vigor and annihilate them. Once enemies are dealt with, you can explore the area, finding ammo, safes full of money, fusions, and numerous collectibles. These collectibles show up in the forms of kinetoscopes and voxophones, each telling you more about Columbia and the characters that reside within, as they tell you the tale of the Lutece twins, important founders to Columbia, who without going through their various recordings, you would know very little about after the credits roll. The story takes a lot of turns, and while it starts to dip after a few hours or so, know that it will continue to escalate until you reach a climax that you never saw coming. A climax that, if you play through the game a second time, will be laughing in your face the entire time. I refuse to tell you anything more about the story, as this one is best experienced with as little information as possible. Just know that it is in fact incredible. Infinite is not without its issues, though they are minor and some are very controversial. When you die, you lose money. So the more you die, the less item upgrades you're going to have, and the worse you're going to do in the long run. The difficulty, while not nearly as bad as the original Bioshocks, can be pretty annoying on harder difficulties, as enemies hit hard and take many more shots to go down than they should. The game itself is also pretty short. After playing through the game 3 times, I found the game took me an average of 6 hours when not looking for collectibles. With a decent amount more exploring and on the hardest difficulty, I was up to 12 hours. The game is short on most AAA standards, but I personally thought the length felt fine. Bioshock Infinite is a phenomenal game. Even with its minuscule problems, great gameplay, and an unforgettable story let Infinite soar far above the clouds.